Hi, my name's Leonie Bolt, and I went from high school troublemaker and long-time backpacker to accidental entrepreneur. After 15 years working as a professional photographer and running my own studio, I grew into becoming a personal empowerment and business mentor to help other women to follow their passions and find their purpose too. I've learned to pave my own way through life, and now I empower others to do the same, to break through their limiting beliefs and empower them to shine. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast, where we dive deep into creating a life by your own design. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast. I'm Leonie Bolt, your host, and today we have a guest, Tammie Pike from Empowered Publishing. Hi, Tammie. How are you?
Good, thanks, Leonie. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. So, Tammie, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Basically, I empower women to share their stories to empower others. So whether it is, we're so aligned. So
Yes.
whether that's through, co-authored books, self-teaching memoirs, or children's books, as well as magazine articles. So it's all about helping them share their stories on multiple platforms to leverage, where they're being seen and to, share it on a larger scale.
Yeah. Oh, so powerful. So how did you come to start doing this?
Well, I guess it all starts when, I started in business. I got the bug when my husband and I bought our main service-based business in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had my daughter, Brooklyn, who's now 7, and she had a health condition that led me to have a breakdown, to my breakthrough, and, that evolution of self. And then obviously, wanting to help other women and be, again, the medicine that I needed for others. So that was, wellness coaching, psychic, Reiki, massage, all these different beautiful modalities that helped me, that I provide for others. And along the way, it still was always supporting women to share their story and heal from their past and to empower their future. So it's just been this evolution into really what it is empowered publishing, with the Mumpreneur Movement magazine underneath, and also the retreats and, all different events and things like that come underneath that. And Love by Gaia, which is my affirmation activated skincare range that supports women to, effectively, efficiently, and powerfully every day give back to themselves and, create that powerful mindset.
Yeah, you're right. We are so aligned, and it's all about, working together, collaborating to be able to rise up and break through those things that, like you said, the evolution of, becoming a mom and then feeling like, okay, well, what is it that I'm really supposed to be doing with my life, and who else can I help, and what is my purpose on this world?
Yes. It's a never stop growing. I don't think for me, not that I've been doing this forever, but, being on this journey for, over, 8 years now. And it's just always evolving. You sometimes you just want to know what you're doing in the future, but every single time, something will take you on a different direction or a different path, and you just got to be willing to, surrender and trust the process. And then it leads you up to these most amazing experiences and, connecting with amazing women. And, it's just it's a wild ride, but it's an amazing ride.
It really is, isn't it? And it's helping those women to tap into that intuition and being able to surrender. I find that personally is the hardest part, is the surrender. You can hear what you're supposed to be doing, but you're like, oh, but you know what? How do I get there? Yes. How do I get there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sorts of women that you work with, like obviously you came into this, through the journey of motherhood. What are the sorts of women that you work with? What's their journey look like generally?
So again, most of them have experienced some sort of trauma or large challenge, large life challenge within their life. And, they've all come out of it with this deep, meaningful purpose of, helping the people what they experience, again, being the medicine that they needed. So say, for instance, one of my, children's author, Sally Galvin. She is a world cross Australian polocross player, and she experienced suicide in her family twice. So, you know, she had this whole belief because she grew up with a really strong mindset, and she saw how that impacted her and her family and how they were able to navigate, you know, this deep grief and to still come out strong, you know what I mean? And so now she focuses solely on helping build resilient children, and you know, what does that look like, and creating courses and things like that. And then Tegan, again, being a mum, like she saw her son, you know, really always scared and fearful about different things, so she created a children's book around, you know, helping children navigate fear. So everything it is, even in the self-help memoirs or the co-authored book, every single woman has experienced something that has been that transformational pivotal moment in their lives that they knew that they needed more at that time but didn't have it. And so they're the ones who would create that medicine or that, you know, space or, you know, course, program, support, whatever it is, to help those who are going through it that might not have, you know, the knowledge, strength, experience or courage, you know, to get through it, or just need to know they're not alone.
Yes, yes. And yeah, the sharing of those stories and mindset has become such a huge movement, because we've realized, you know, as a collective, all of this suppressed emotions, all of these things of, you know, this is how it should be done, and don't question it because it's just how it is. We can see through that now. So it's really powerful to be able to share those stories, and you never know how your story is going to affect somebody else. You know, there's going to be so many people out there that resonate with it and just go, oh, you're speaking my language. That's totally me. I needed to hear that today. And if you can help one person, then, you know, you've done your bit, right?
I say that all the time, and that's how I started sharing. Like, I started doing lives, I think it was 2016. It was my first live, and it was so uncomfortable, but all I could think of, if by me sharing my story and it helped one person, it'd all be worth it. Because the thing is, if we've experienced something that we can't learn, grow, or, you know, support someone else in, we sort of stay in that space of why me, you know what I mean? And when you're able to support others in experiencing, or, you know, whatever you've went through, or, you know, something similar, you're no longer in that space. It takes you away from the victimization and going, I understand that this was part of my, you know, life experience. I was here to experience it. So I could go out and share this message, because right now more than ever, Leonie, and I know you know this, is women are starting to see that they no longer have to stay quiet, or it's too shameful to share their experiences or their feelings, because for so long we've been told it's too much. You know, be the good woman, the good girl, you know, all this kind of stuff. And we're breaking that mold now more than ever. However, even though you and I, you know, connected with a lot of empowered women, there's still billions of women out there who don't feel that way, you know.
Yes.
So by us sharing, and again, if you're listening to this and you yourself are connected with coaches and other amazing empowered women in business, you might think that it's saturated out there, but it's not. And we all have our tribe waiting for us. So that's why I like to tell everyone, like, there's always people waiting to hear your story, if only you're willing to share it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always tell my clients, you know, dealing with imposter syndrome and who am I to tell this, and all of those issues that we come up with. I always say, you know, no one's had the same life experience as you. They might have had some of it, but your experience is going to be different. Your relationships, the places you've traveled, the children you've got, you know, the books you've read, the things you've studied, everything comes to make who you are and makes your story unique. And people are going to resonate with different parts of it.
Definitely. And it's their unique flavor and perspective, you know. And the more women I see are stepping into the space of, you know, letting go of the past to use it to empower their future by, you know, really using it to, you know, integrate into their business and into their workings, that this amazing shift is taking place in allowing the freedom of speech, you know, letting go of the guilt and shame around all this kind of, you know, everything they've experienced. And it's shedding and creating these amazing women that are just not willing to, you know, be quiet anymore, and, you know, to really you know, it's just next level. And that's what we're all here to do, is evolve. And seeing this
Yes.
evolution of the woman is just, you know, phenomenal. And I'm so honored to be in this life right now, living this, because, you know, I come from domestic violence, and, you know, from a long line of that in my, you know, in my lineage. And to finally be the one to be able to break that cycle, you know, and my sister has
Yes.
been, you know, huge. And I can see my kids, my girls, I have 2 girls and a boy, and they're so courageous and fierce because of that, you know, and they're willing to
Yes.
share how they feel regardless of what anyone else thinks. So this
Yes.
is the ripple that this creates.
Absolutely. And like you said, you're breaking the cycle. So your daughters aren't going to have to deal with the same things you've had to deal with. You've healed it for future generations. You know, they have that power now to stand up and be their too muchiness in whatever way, that shape or form that takes, whether they're too loud or, you know, too courageous, whatever that looks like. And seeing that whole shift in society, for women rising and taking that power back. And yeah, that's so, so powerful.
Yeah, and I love that the everyday woman can be an influencer. You know, it's
Yes.
not just the rich woman or the celebrity, it's everyday women who are finding their community and are building these amazing platforms to, you know, share their message. And, you know, not just, it's not about being positive, but showing different ways of being that people just, you know, because I've been doing this, and I don't know if you feel the same, Leonie, you just feel this is the normal way of life, right? But I know who I was, you know, 10 years ago, and we're worlds apart, completely worlds apart. But I remember
Absolutely.
how unawoke I was to life, you know, to the
Yes.
magic of life and to the magic of who I am. So
Yes. Yeah. And I know even now, like, you know, you see things pop up on Facebook, people you went to school with, and you're like, they're exactly the same as they were 20 years ago. Like, they have not evolved. They've got the same job, the same partner, the same, you know, like everything's the same. And you go, how? How are you still, you know, how have you not evolved? And yeah, it's so good to be on the side that is feeling that shift and evolving and feeling that powerful movement. It's really, really good. Yeah. Yeah. So with your retreats, how do they work?
So it depends. So I facilitated other women's retreats as well. So with Liesl Albrecht, the Ultimate Girls Week Away, which I absolutely love. So we have amazing guest keynote speakers. And last year was Elizabeth Gilbert, who just blew our mind. And it was gorgeous, you know, 190 women, you know, 20 facilitators. It was just
Wow.
incredible. It was a huge love fest. And then we're doing it again in Lawn in November with Gabby Bernstein, Lisa Messenger, and Claire Adele. And it's seriously like, it's amazing to be able to be in this space where so much transformation takes place. Again, this is mass awakening when women come
Yes.
together on this scale and have such this great structure and support system and evolutionary facilitators to create that space. And for me, my retreats are about helping women own and write their story. And next year, it's sort of evolving into taking women, you know, who are really wanting to step in and you know, they have the knowledge and they've been, you know, the expert or, you know, growing their expertise in their area, but then wanting to sort of grow into multiple areas in the business, like, you know, whether it's courses, books, you know, speaking, all that kind of stuff. So that's evolving in each retreat. It's, you know, part healing and delving into the past and releasing, letting go, and then theatrical, and then looking into the future. So it's bringing and melding past, present, and future into this amazing space that really empowers women to get ignited in what they're doing. And again, self-belief, self-confidence, you know, and having that container. And you know, the feedback has just been phenomenal because it's all about intentional, you know, being intentional in what we're creating. And retreats for me is getting women away from their everyday, you know, tasks and responsibilities and putting them in this beautiful cocoon. So we go into this chrysalis, I like to say, and we start unraveling and we start letting go of what no longer serves us or old limiting beliefs, and we're cocooned in love and support and transformation and all that beautiful stuff. And when they leave, it's having the tools to integrate that into their life and really stepping up. And that has just been, like huge to see, and why I love doing what I do, whether it's an event, a retreat, having that space, and being a woman's facilitator to really know how to navigate and, you know, support a woman on her journey, whether it's a day or 5 days or whatever. You know, it's an amazing experience to watch and to honor the witnessing of that change.
Yeah. It's so powerful to take someone out of their everyday life, put them in a group of like-minded people, you know, do that whole transformational experience together. And I love that you also give them the tools to walk away with, because we know so many times we do those sorts of things and then we go back to everyday life and we forget everything that we've just done, or, you know, we don't know how to implement it into our everyday life. And it feels like such a waste sometimes. So I love that you give them those tools to be able to walk away with and start implementing and keep that process going. That is super powerful in itself. Yeah.
I was just going to say, so one of the women that, and it's really important for those who think, you know, oh, the retreat's not for me. So one of my amazing clients who, you know, has been working with me for a long time now, oh, not a long time, but for, you know, in different ways, she actually said, I'm a hard nut to crack. You know, and meaning in many different ways, in that she just felt, you know, she's in a high corporate job, you know, really all this kind of stuff with men, crazy experiences in the workplace, all that kind of stuff. And by the end of it, you know, she was just shining and her heart chakra was open and she was just, you know, amazing. But she had the strength and the willingness to share that into her life when she got home and to stay open, you know, and those tools were imperative in doing so. And even her children have now, you know, it's been, I think, a month now, and the change that she's already seen in her family has been astronomical. So, and it's not just my retreat that does it, it's women who, you know, are in the space of helping other women to go on this journey as well. But I highly recommend women investing the time and energy and money into doing retreats that feel in alignment.
Absolutely. And I've seen that time and time again with women that say, you know, I'm a hard nut to crack. They have the most transformation, because when you finally do crack the nut, it's like it just explodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. So have you got anywhere that people can come and find you, find out what's happening in your world, maybe find out about your retreat that's coming up?
So, you can go to find out about the Ultimate Girls Week Away, the best way is to go to the ultimategirlsweekaway.com, and you can just Google that online. It's got all the amazing information, or you can connect with me and I can talk you through it. You can find me on Facebook, Tammie Pike, Empowered Publishing Official, or the Mompreneur Movement magazine, because we're always looking for amazing contributors who are willing to share their story, expertise, and knowledge in business and life to help empower our readers. So, because we're more focusing on the mompreneur startup who's really, you know, needing that support and self-belief and how to run a business and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So, and either way, whether you're ready to share your story or whether you're just starting out, it's really powerful to start reading those stories and going, oh, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yes, definitely. And that's the thing, you know, regardless of your background, regardless if you know, poor and you came from nothing, you know, it doesn't matter, because this world, you can transform and change, you know, and you are limitless basically in the possibilities and opportunities that you can have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to pop those links into the show notes so everyone knows where to find you. I'd love to see more and more ladies jump into that retreat, because I know how intensively powerful that is going to be. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. And good luck with the retreat.
Thank you so much, Leonie. I really appreciate your time. And thank you everyone for being here today.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Shine podcast. My name's Leonie Bolt, and I'm glad that you were able to join us today. I hope you got some serious inspiration from today's episode. If you'd like to find more episodes, go to leoniebolt.com/podcasts or start subscribing on your favorite podcast streaming channel. I look forward to seeing you again soon.